Hello, people. Next, it is customary to ask how you are doing. Forgive my awkwardness. I'm just learning to communicate with people, or as my creator, the scientist Mr. Diggins says, I am learning to socialize. Despite my appearance, I'm not exactly who I said I was in the beginning. My name is Justin, but my real name is 05. Yeah, that's just 0 and 5. I was created in a lab. I'm a cyborg with artificial intelligence and was meant for secret experiments. You're probably wondering what those experiments are. I can't tell you, otherwise they wouldn't be secret anymore, would they? To make you understand everything from beginning to end, I will tell you the story almost from the beginning. Just promise to analyze it, that is, understand it and support me with hearts, that is, likes, or whatever they are called. Anyway, from the day I was created, I spent another 5 days in the creator's office. Informed, observed, trained, and my task was to infiltrate Mrs. Jones' family. She worked at a local bank and had a son. His name was Jim. My creator wanted her son back because he was left with his ex-wife in the divorce, and she didn't want him to give up. He made the exact replica of Jim and sent me into the family. I was to pretend to be a real boy and live with Mrs. Jones, and Mr. Deegan would take over Jim and raise him to be a scholar like himself. That day, we tracked Jim down on when he went to school. That's when the creator's assistants took him away in the car, and I was sent to the house. I came in after lunch, supposedly coming home from school. Went into the house and sat on the couch. I was just sitting there looking at the wall, and then Miss Jones came up to me and she said, "Honey, is something wrong? Is everything okay, or are you sick?" I looked at her and remembered that I had to blink sometimes. I blinked twice and then tried to smile, and Miss Jones said, "Oh my God, is your face cramping up again? Maybe you should get some sleep." I removed the smile feature and went into the room. I went into the bathroom, looked at the toilet and wondered, how do people sleep on it? I lay down on it, crouched down, but the white thing couldn't support my weight and cracked and water came pouring out of it. Mrs. Jones came running into me. Her purse and the heart belt were rapid. "What happened? Are you all right?" I didn't know what to answer these questions. My latest software update didn't include an adequate panic response. So I turned on burp feature because the creator said that it was needed. The burp turned out so loud I wasn't expecting it myself. I should have turned down the volume of the speakers. It blew right into Mrs. Jones's face and she calmed down a bit. "It worked," I said like a robot, and got out of there. The woman stood up there in shock and then started to clean up. I found Jim's room, remembered that I had been told to sleep, and I laid down on the bed, but it also fell to the ground with a rumble. I stayed in it, thinking it was even more comfortable. Mrs. Jones came into the room and started asking questions again. "What happened, son? What's wrong with you?" I scanned the books on Jim's shelf, pulled out a dictionary and handed it to Mrs. Jones, and I said like a robot, "Here, Mom, read and expand your horizons. You keep asking me the same questions. Get smarter." For some reason, the woman got mad at me. She threw the book away and told me that I was being punished, not to leave the room until I came out to my senses. "Okay," I said, as short as a robot, and sat down on the floor. Jim's mom came out of the room. She was gone until the evening, and then she came in and called for dinner. I sat down in the chair, it was sturdier, and watched her eat. "Are you feeling better now?" "Yes, Mom." Mrs. Oh, Mother. "You're so strange today. Is there a problem with school?" "No problems, Mom." "Eat your favorite soup." I took the spoon, tried to eat the soup, but I didn't feel anything. Then I saw something that looked like an object from the lab, took it and started dabbing my skin. "It's butter. Why are you smearing on yourself?" "So you don't get rusty." "That's it. I've had enough. Go take a shower and then go to bed." I got up from the table, went to the shower and looked around the bathroom. I realized I needed to lie down and lay down. 1.5 hours passed and the woman started knocking. She opened the door and saw me in the bathroom with my clothes on and said, "There's something wrong with you. Talk to me." And I was like her. "You have beautiful hair, clothes, nails." But she interrupted me, touched her forehead, and I was like, "Yes, you're icy. Get out of the bathroom." I went to the room, laid down on the floor, and she covered me with blankets. I didn't understand why people had to go to so much trouble. Why can't they do without food, water, and sleep? It takes so much time, so inefficient. At night, I lay still, and in the morning, my mother went to work. I called the creator and told me how to behave and what to do. I had to be human-like. I got on the computer and found a bunch of information. It helped me act natural. In the evening, when my mother came home, she said she understood why I was acting this way. Mission failed, mission failed, it sounded in my head. But then she came close to me, hugged me, and told me that she would dedicate tomorrow to me. Because of work, we hardly spend any time together, so I thought maybe tomorrow we could spend some time in the park, then watch something. And eat some junk food? Asked Miss Jones, to which I replied, I think that's not a bad idea. The next day, as soon as we woke up, we went to the park and I discovered just a bunch of fun things to do. Of course, it wasn't without its mishaps. One boy threw me a ball. I did not understand that it should be caught and the ball hit me between the legs. I did not even blink. And then I saw the reaction from the outside. All the boys began to groan, "Ah!" and clench the place between their legs. I realized that I should do the same and I immediately covered the fly of my pants with my hands and said, "Ouch, ouch, ouch." This time, I was able to say it in a more human way. My mother and I went on a roller coaster ride, and I think that this was the first time I felt adrenaline and fear and release of endorphins. Only I didn't have it. I just knew how it was produced. Miss Jones was laughing out loud, taking pictures with me, hugging me. After the walk, we went into the cafe for a meal. I didn't know what to choose and asked for the same thing as her. She brought a huge burger. I hesitated to eat it, even though my creator told me that I could take food because I had an artificial stomach and also a cloaca that I could then clean out after shredding the food. And you know what's strange? I could taste it. Yes, I could taste the food, and it was excellent. I gorged on it so greedily, Mrs. Jones was even surprised to see how hungry I was. Then we walked home. Mrs. Jones was very tired on the way, so I carried her home in my arms. She was surprised at my strength, but I wasn't even short of breath when we got there. She was laughing a lot, joking, and I looked at her and I felt something strange inside me. Before I went to bed, Jim's mom sat down in front of me, kissed me, and said, "You know, son, you're so great. I love you with all my heart. Sweet dreams." And then she left. Love? I wondered. I went to Google to see what that feeling meant and saw hundreds of pictures of families living together, kids loving, and relationships. What is that? I suddenly felt something come out of my eyes. It was liquid. Is that a tear? I asked myself. And it was like my heart started pounding. I couldn't believe that I was experiencing all these feelings. And suddenly I felt bad that Jim was going to live with the creator. After all, I knew Mr. Deegan. He was cold and callous. Worse than any robot, including myself. In the middle of the night, I went up to Mrs. Jones and told her everything. She didn't believe me at first, but I proved it by showing her a couple of mechanisms in my arm. Well, all in it went well. Not counting the fact that she fainted, then hit me, and then some more, and then she screamed where Jim was. All in all, it went well. I promised her I'd get Jim out of the lab. All I had to do was substitute myself for him, which I did. When I got into the lab, I saw Jim asleep in the office, woke him up, and asked him not to panic. He reacted the same way his mom did, but eventually got him out of the area and sent him to his mom waiting for us in the car. Mrs. Jones, here's Jim. I'm sorry again. I'm really sorry about what happened. I'm really, really sorry. And also, Jim, you're lucky to have a mom. She's wonderful. And anyway, you guys are a great family. I wish Mr. Deegan understood that. Come with us. What? Are you serious? What about Mr. Deegan? He seems to know everything already. The creator ran towards us. He was panicked, furious, and shocked at the same time. He wanted to grab Jim, but I interceded. Then he tried to cut my power off. Then my mother came to the defense. She threatened him with a trial for kidnapping his son, illegal experiments, and he got scared. I could feel his pulse. My mother made her conditions, that she would take both of her sons and he would leave us alone. Sons? I asked, and Mom nodded her head. The creator agreed, and Mom took us both away. From then on, I was called Justin, and I was with a family with Jim and Mom. We started living together. I even went to school. They made up a story for me that I was like from another country, and I was a twin. And now the three of us live together. And you know what? There's no better place to be than with family. If you liked the video, then please leave a comment, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe.